Hello, I'm Kristina Amelong from the Optimal Health Network, and today I'm going to talk to you about coffee enemas. Coffee enemas have been around for a long time and were popularized by Dr. Max Gerson back in the early 1900s, a doctor who had migraines, and he tried the coffee enemas to relieve his own migraines, and he was successful, and so then he started trying it with his patients and found it. Coffee enemas can also be used to recover from multiple chemical sensitivities, any kind of autoimmune issues, any kind of detoxification issues. It's often thought that things like cancer and autoimmunity are caused by a change in metabolism, and the coffee enema, which increases the production of glutathione, which is a key enzyme for detoxification. The coffee enema increases that and helps metabolism overall work better. So actually coffee enemas turn out to be really helpful from everything from recovering from a hangover to just feeling overall better, dealing with the toxic world. And I've seen that bear out over my over 20 years of clinical practice, where people who are struggling with their health, they use the coffee enemas and they find great benefit. It's really important to realize that when Dr. Max Gerson was using coffee enemas with people, he would have people do 6-7 coffee enemas a day, so that the process of the coffee enemas was keeping the colon continually clear, and the effect of the coffee enemas was operating on an empty colon. So you never want to put coffee into your colon that's full. That's why we recommend the Enema series, which is our 3-step process that culminates in a coffee enema. The first step is the made for Enema Soap. The second step is the sea salt and essential oil blend, and then the third one is the coffee. So your colon's empty, it's prepared, and now you put the coffee into the body and you actually hold that coffee solution for 12 to 15 minutes. And what you're doing in that process is you're helping the body to absorb the coffee and pull that through the hepatic vein so that it can act on the system, your whole body system, and particularly act on your gallbladder to dump toxic bile. The type of coffee you use is important, because using non-organic coffee or a high acid coffee or a coffee that's not high in palmitates isn't going to give you the same benefit. So we've created a coffee blend especially made for enemas that is high in palmitates, low acid, organically grown, shade grown, fairly traded, higher in caffeine, and it is a very reliably therapeutic blend of coffee, and it comes in a 5-pound whole bean and a 1-pound whole bean, and also a 1-pound ground. So make sure your coffee is therapeutic. So all the items you'll need to do a coffee enema is your enema equipment. You don't need a big bag. I have a 2-quart silicone bag here. You want to make sure that you're not using rubber in your enema equipment, because the oils in the coffee will degrade the rubber and pull that into your body. So use silicone or stainless steel is best. So the enema bag, the hook, the nozzle, the hose, the clamp, all of that you'll need. If you need any help with that, you can reach out to us at Optimal Health Network, and we'll be glad to support you through that process. Also, ideally, you'll do the Enema series before you do the coffee enema. So you'll need made for Enema Soap, which is rich in butyric acid, which is the main fuel for the mucosal lining of the colon to repair itself, and essential oils to provide added benefit in that first step, which is also a cleansing step in pulling out the stool of the colon. Then the second step is a quality salt, sea salt, because it's highly absorptive of the essential oils, and then ideally a prebiotic essential oil blend that helps to optimize the microbiome in the colon. The salt is besides you put the oil in the salt and then you put that in the water, the salt also helps to balance out the electrolytes in the body, which is a concern when people are taking enemas on a regular basis for folks that they're thinking they're imbalancing their mineral levels. But we found that that is not the case, and especially when you add salt in. For the prebiotics as essential oils, we recommend the myrtle, citronella, lemongrass, rosemary, tea tree, and lavender. So you also need the lubricant for the nozzle. You can either use a therapeutic lubricant, which helps keep the anal area real healthy and is quite viscous. That's what we recommend, the super salve, with the healthy oils as well as essential oils. Or you can also use a Surgilube. You want to use something that's relatively viscous, meaning thick, versus like just a coconut oil, because it gives you a smoother insertion into the anal area with no risk of any kind of tearing to the anal area. So I'd keep with a viscous salve or a lubricant designed for that purpose. And then you also need your made for enema coffee as your final step in your coffee enema. So how do you prepare the coffee to take your coffee enema? Again, you want to use a made for enema coffee, and you can use a very small amount of coffee, 1 tablespoon to 4 tablespoons of ground coffee, to 1 cup to 4 cups of a high quality water. So you prepare the water. You can boil it on your stovetop. You can use a French press, any way that you're comfortable with making coffee, a drip machine. And then once you've made that coffee, you ideally want to use the coffee immediately or within a couple hours, because the more coffee sits around, the more the healthy fats degrade and the more the acidic content increases. So we want the coffee to be very low acid. So you make the coffee. You often, what I'll do is make the coffee before I start everything and leave it real hot. So by the time I've taken the first and the second enema in the series, the coffee is a great warm temperature, but not too hot. You want to never put hot coffee into your body. So then you take that amount, and you really don't need a lot of coffee. You never want to feel a buzz after a coffee enema. You just want to feel great. But if you get to that point where the coffee is making you feel buzz, then you've used too much coffee, and the next time use a little bit of less coffee. You can also, to get great benefits, you can add into your coffee mixture Tangerine Essential Oil, which also helps to increase the glutathione levels. Any of the citrus oils help to increase the glutathione levels. This also, there's research around this dissolving petrochemicals in the body, which is really great since we're all swimming in plastics and petrochemicals, and those are in our body. So these processes around the coffee enema and the essential oils really help to keep that stuff moving through our body and not get lodged in our tissues. Because the coffee is triggering the release of toxins into the upper part of the small intestines by being absorbed up through the hepatic vein of the colon, it's great to use a binder like chlorophyll about 20 to 30 minutes before you take the coffee enema. So somewhere in that process of that second enema in the series, if you take your chlorophyll, and then that'll deliver the chlorophyll to that spot in the small intestines, and it'll help to bind the toxins that are being released into the small intestines. And so when they're carried out, they're bound and they're to an agent that's going to leave the body versus getting reabsorbed as they're going through the small intestines and the colon. So I would take a large amount of chlorophyll, 4 to 8 capsules. Also, cilantro is a great substance to use to bind toxins, and that's great too. So to take the coffee enema, you have your coffee prepared, and you then fill your enema bag or bucket, and you set that a couple feet above the body. You want to be in a really comfortable place. I always take my enemas either in the bathtub, filled with water. That's very comfortable, and you're right next to the toilet. You can get in and out. It's real easy to clean up if you made a mess, or right on the floor on a towel near the toilet. Some people prefer their bed. Anywhere that's comfortable for you, but also easy to access your toilet, so that when you're ready to release, you don't leak the coffee out, or worse yet, right, any stool out before you get to the toilet. So once you have your enema bag or bucket set up and you're ready to take your coffee enema, you want to make sure to lubricate that nozzle well. And then you want to run a little bit of the coffee out of the tubing and through the nozzle, so that you get out as much of the air as possible. It's okay if there's a little bit of air in the system. That shouldn't bother your body. Then once you're all set up, you insert the enema nozzle, and then even if you're just using a cup or up to a quart, you still want to take that in slowly, and use the clamp to pause the flow, massage the belly, especially if there's any cramping. Take some deep breaths, and from there you want to hold the coffee enema for 12 to 15 minutes while your body is absorbing that and doing what it needs to do with that therapy in your body. You can take the coffee enema once a month, once a week, once a day. People do it all different schedules at all different times depending what's going on. And you always want to feel better after the process, never worse. So if you're feeling better after it, that's a good guide to, okay, this is great, now I'm going to do it again. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at optimalhealthnetwork.com. We are here to help. We also have a consultation process if you need more individualized support. You can check out our intake form under our services tab, or if you just have some general questions, you can call, email, or text us, and we are here to help you. Thank you.